Hello, everybody, and welcome to Are You a Mutant? Ushering in the era of the individual. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am in love community. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hold on. I'm going to be breaking down the 2027 wheel shift, and I'm going to tell you what that means for your chart and what that means for history. I want you to think of this as an astrological reading of what is to come, starting from now until 2027, and then it's a 411-year cycle. I'm also going to share, when you see gates that you have in your chart, I'm going to tell you what that means if we're leaving them and if we're moving into them. Your chart does not change, FYI. So we have a lot of prizes for you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm going to start today with sharing a little bit of my background for those of you guys who are new to my work. And those of you who are not new, I'm going to try and do a different part of my story because believe me, I've got a lot. I wish I had a rags to riches story, but unfortunately my story is more of a roller coaster ride. And today I'm going to share my story starting with when I was in my early 20s and I did my junior year abroad in England. I was going as an international relations major and I was studying political science. I wanted to go to law school. I was not spiritual. I did not believe in God. I was an atheist. I was very rational. I was very much into science. And that junior year abroad, a friend of mine took me to Israel for the summer. And it was there I had my first spiritual awakening. I connected with God in a very big, profound way in Israel. And what it did for me is it made me curious. If you guys know, I'm a line 1 that's driven by curiosity, and you're an investigator and you want to know what's going on. And so I decided, what the hey is this? I didn't believe in God. It literally shook me and turned everything upside down. And so I then began to research. I researched everything. I'm a voracious researcher and reader. I read every single self-help book, and not self-help, spiritual awakening, metaphysical, the I Ching. I read everything that you could get your hands on at that time. And I'm going to spare you the year so that you guys don't have to know how old I am. So anyways, I was reading, I was crazy. And then after I finished, I got obsessed with shamanism and Toltec wisdom. And I made an inner commitment. I went to bed one night and I said, I want my Nagual teacher. I woke up the next day and literally someone came to me and said, Raquel, someone's teaching the Toltec wisdom right across the street from your apartment. The universe heard me. There's something to this. We're all connected. It was the first time I had like a synchronicity like that. And so I went to the apartment. It was clean. It was beautiful. The vibration was different. It was like stepping into a cloud of awakening. And I thought, there's something different here. If you ever went to college, you know that most apartments are filled with beer and craziness and nothing's clean. And clothes everywhere. This was a totally different environment. And what I came to find out is that this person was teaching something called the Four Agreements. And he said, you have to meet my father. And so I started going to his father's classes. His father was teaching in his living room with just a few students. He was a master shaman that came from a lineage of shamans teaching the Toltec wisdom. And it happened to be Don Miguel Ruiz, who this was way before he was famous. And so I decided then that I didn't want to go to law school. I didn't want to know anything about academia anymore. I was ready to do spiritual awakening as my second PhD. And so I studied with all the Naguals in his community. He passed his lineage down to several Naguals. I traveled all over the world. We went to Teotihuacan. We went to all of the sacred sites. I went back to Israel and Egypt, where I had my full past life awakening. I was in Europe for 3 months, Machu Picchu, and we just went deep, deep. And I started having all these profound awakenings, and it was nonstop. The problem was when I went to go manifest something in the real world, I was creating a lot of chaos, confusion, drama, and all kinds of other things. I mean, granted, I was in my 20s, and granted, it wasn't today where we have a lot more tools available. My point was, had I known human design, everything would have been different. I was a serial entrepreneur. I kept trying different entrepreneurial ventures. And yes, I had success, but I was pushing. I have ego, which is my ego is defined. So I have willpower and I can commit to things and make things happen. And I was a good manifester, but I would become burned out. People stole my ideas. I was not fully recognized, and projectors, you might relate to some of these things. And I crashed and burned. And I was a line 5. So I was a heretic, burnt at the stake, and driven out of the city that I was manifesting in, which was San Francisco. And finally, I got turned on to human design by my partner, who you guys probably know, Davidian Lion. He and I run this company together. He's here right now. He is my business partner, my life partner, and soon to be my husband. Yes, we neither one of us has ever been married, and we're finally getting married this year. That's not part of the story, but so he told me about human design, and I went onto a massive study about this human design thing. And nothing really explained human design, and nothing explained me like human design. I was like, OMFG. And I studied. I learned everything. I got certified. I memorized everything I studied. And then Davidian again turned me on to another teacher who was a splenic projector. And people are already coming to me saying, I want to learn my chart. They're already asking questions about human design. I'm already kind of teaching it, right? Before I was teaching it, I was just doing readings because everybody was asking me for a reading. And I thought, oh my God, why is everyone asking me for a reading? I want to teach spiritual awakening. So I met the splenic projector, and he friggin' lasered me with that friggin' pointer that projectors have, that projector insight. And he said, Raquel, you might know human design. You've studied it, you've learned it, but you do not know how to live as a projector. I've studied all spirituality. I've listened to the masters. I've done. There's another enlightened teacher I didn't tell you about as well. And if you want to hear that story, I put it on the video page so you guys can hear more about the enlightened teacher I studied with after Miguel totally disappointed me, because he is not in integrity. I do need to make sure that I make that point. But so I studied and I got my master's in spiritual psychology. I did the things. And he said, you don't know how to live as a projector. And that projector insight was the first time I'd actually felt the aura of a projector who had really lived it. And it was dramatic. It was shocking and it was dramatic. And I shifted everything. I shifted the way everything was happening in my life. I stopped doing the business I was doing. I stopped everything and just began to live this journey. And as I began to live it and the material began to awaken within me, it was downloaded. All of my spiritual teachings came together. All of my spiritual insights and downloads began to make sense. And so what I do is I merge all of my spiritual teachings with the human design intel because it radically changed my life. When I had my first awakening in Israel, I was brought to a guide by the name of Maya, who was a green guide. Over the last couple years, new guides have come in. Now, guides are revealed in human design through rave cosmology. It shows you who your guides are. My guides are actually aliens according to the rave cosmology, but what they came to me as is 17 blue beings with the name Amori. I am telling you this because I am actually outing myself as a spiritual practitioner as well as a human design practitioner. I now merge all of these things into my work, and I hope to merge them for you all today. We are going to start with a process of ignition, which I do with all of my classes. And what that does is it aligns your frequency up out of the beta consciousness and puts you into alpha, theta, gamma rays of consciousness so that you can take in the information we're going to learn today. I am going to show you my slides. I'm going to dive into some intel today, but I would like to start with the centering. For those of you who are all new, which you have a lot of new people here, I want to tell you about this ignition process. First of all, it's non-denominational. So whatever you believe, whatever thoughts you have, all of it is welcome here. It is a spiritual awakening ignition through my channel of shock. So I like to shock people into their spiritual awakening, and it'll help us understand. Your brain becomes more clear and you'll understand the intel in a new way. So what I do is I ask everybody who is here live, and those of you who are listening to the recording, it's time to shut your screens down, close your phones. If you're here live, I ask every single person to type in the chat if you are ready for this ignition. So if you guys are ready, what I'm going to ask you to do is to take a breath in with me here. Breathe in. Close your eyes and feel the power of this moment. Bring your attention into your heart. Allow yourself to be here now. We're going to let go of the past. We're going to let go of the future. And we're going to ignite this moment. Breathe in. Get present. And what we are going to do is we're going to allow for greater clarity, for wisdom. I'm going to ask that you connect in now with your guide. And I want you to just feel what happens when you move into a place of stillness, awareness, and insight. You turn on the vehicle intelligence. The vehicle intelligence is beyond the mind. It's an intel beyond the thinking process. It's an intel that when you tap in, it evolves your consciousness and you move into a place of evolution. 2027 is the era of the individual, where each and every person allows their uniqueness to shine, and where we all let each person shine as their uniqueness. We let them be who they are, make their own decisions. This is the time that we are in. We are awakening now, so feel it. This vehicle intelligence can guide your life if you are ready to transcend the mind. If you are ready to evolve out of the thinking, and you are ready to take on this vehicle intelligence to a new level. The vehicle intelligence is far more powerful than the mind. It friggin' beats your heart. It takes in a breath without you thinking. It moves your leg, it births the baby. It heals when you have a cut. It heals you completely. It awakens you to what is correct for you, your place in the world. It allows you to play your role. So everyone take a breath in with me and come back here into this moment. Come back into this space. And go ahead and type in one word into the chat that you may have received from that ignition, and I am going to go ahead and share my slides with you so we can dive into the intel for today. So I want to share with you guys the leading expert that we have that is going 3 Lauren K. Wyatt, mutant, who's going to share her story. Donna said intense. Oh my God, I love that. Jules said love. Lasers. Shelly said heart. Love. Clearing. Awesome, you guys. I love these words. You guys are all with me. I'm feeling you guys so much. Inspired. Tiffany. Awesome. I want to share with you guys a little bit about Lauren K. Wyatt. The reason we're starting with her interview is because Lauren is one of my students, and she has been certified all the way through my level 4. She's certified in the Dream Rave, which we just completed. She's certified in my Rave Cosmology course. She's certified in the 4 Radical Transformations, which is one that we have coming up. And she was assisting me through these interviews. As a projector, we often need generator fuel. It's shown in BG5. BG5 is the human design business realm. That is actually a chapter in my book, Biz by Design. I'm going to kind of tell you guys a little bit as we go through some of the things that you're going to get in the book that you will not get anywhere else. One of them is the Biz by Design. You guys may know human design and know that this business aspect is very rarely seen in any books. This might be the only book. And so much of this launch is going to be about my book launch. So I am going to try and share with you guys a little bit about it as we go through. So Lauren, she is a psychic spiritual advisor. She is incredible. Not only does she merge human design, but she merges all of her psychic advising. She is a CEO energy of the caretaker. So she really is the one who oversees and caretakes for her employees. And she partnered with me on this and just did such an amazing job. What we do is we interview people, some of whom have never been to human design before. We share their story, and then we do a big chart reveal at the end. It's so hot. It's so fun, because she's going to be co-hosting through a lot of the interview. The new era is among us, everybody. The new era is already here. We're already seeing the breakdown. We already are seeing the frigging shift happening in the wheel. So it's friggin' here, it's happening, and it's big. It's so big. So global cycles, okay, from the human design perspective, there is a global consciousness. So what I'm going to be reading here right now is the Human Design Global Epoch, which is the human design chart for all of humanity. We're all connected. So I'm going to be reading, it's as though we're reading the forces that are happening on the planet. We all share one collective field, and we refer to it as the human epoch. The interesting thing, I'm discussing black sheep, mutants, the outsiders, but all of you who are probably light workers like me, we know there are no mutants, there are no outsiders. And I'm going to share with you how we see that in human design. And I'm going to share with you that there's this shifting of the wheel from primarily a tribal energy to a primarily individual energy. And the individuals, you see, they're so busy doing their own thing, they don't care what the rest of the tribe is doing. The tribe is very loving. They love individuals. They're very loving. You know, the tribe will take people in, they will house them, they will feed them. But as long as they adhere to the tribal rule, as long as you bend over backwards and you say, okay, I'll do what you want, tribe. Those your rules, okay, I'll follow them. But the minute the individual says, I'm not following that rule, that doesn't fit for me, the tribe is like, you are gone. You are excommunicated. You are cut off. You are destroyed. And some tribes can be super friggin' vicious. Maybe you guys have seen that before. Some of the most vicious tribes, elementary school, Scientology, you know, things where if you leave, you're destroyed. Okay. So shifting into the era of the individual means that all of the tribal people, you're free to do what you want. You can do whatever you want. Whatever tribal floats your boat, hey, that's great. Big shift. Big shift. However, those of you who have more tribal circuitry or have even some tribal circuitry, you're going to be the one who sits down at the table and says, these tribes here, I mean, these individuals here, let them into our tribe. They're cool. They might be different, but they're freaking cool. Okay? Let them in. And so I'm 50% tribal. So I'm not putting down the tribe, people. I love tribe. I don't think if you didn't have any tribe, you might not want my new teas. Not designed to fit in. Do you freaking love this tea? By the way, I'm going to be starting the drawings next week for the teas, but they are available on our site, Foxy 5D. They are available a limited edition. So it's a limited edition. Okay, so I am actually 50% tribal and 50% individual. If you don't know, okay, we do have posts in the Facebook group where you can post your chart and we'll help you see how much individual you have, how much tribal, how much collective. Trust me, everybody has some of all. Okay, everybody has tribal, everyone has individual, everybody has collective too. It's just a matter of the percentages. Some people are 100% individual. I'm 50% tribal, 50% individual, so I got them both. Okay, and but the one thing you will learn is that everybody is a mutant because we are doing the art of differentiation, which is what human design is. It's showing that each DNA strata is different. Everybody has different DNA, and so everybody is different. And that's what we're showing, is that every single person is unique. And that is also what the era of the individual is doing, is saying, hey, we're not all the same. We're not cookie cutters. We're not all going to fit into the 9-to-5, 401k. We're not all going to want a picket fence. We're not all going to want children. We're not all going to want to have a normal marriage. We're not all going to want to eat the same way. Right? This is the new era. Give me a woot woot. So today we are going to talk about what this is happening, what is happening. So we are moving from the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. The cross of the sleeping phoenix is only called sleeping until 2027. Did you know that? And then it's moving into the cross of the phoenix. Do you know your gates? And do you know the gates you are moving from and the gates we are moving to? So, the cross of planning. Gate 37 is moving to the gate 55. The gate 40 is going to be moving to the gate 59. The gate 9 is going to be moving to the gate 34. The gate 16 is moving to the gate 20. If you have any one of those gates, type it into the chat. If you do not know, don't worry. Just listen to the intel, and as I go through it, I'm going to show you some charts. I'm going to help you understand, and you will start to understand the information. What I want to say is if you are moving away, so the 37, 49, 16, okay? We are moving away from those gates. Again, I want to repeat, this does not mean that your chart changes. Your chart does not change. It's how you relate to the rest of the world. It's how you relate to the people out there. That's what's going to change. Those people who have gates from the cross of planning, you are going to be able to assist people with what is to come. Because you are here, you are taking the new information and you will be able to show people. Don't worry that all of logic is disappearing. Don't worry that the 9 to 5 is going away and even really the institution of marriage is going to change completely. The agreement, the bargain around the money exchange is all changing. Because you know it so well and you know what's coming, you'll be able to say, hey, yeah, there's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of chaos. But that's okay. We're in a new era. New dimensions of experiences are happening. So you will be able to guide from the past knowledge to the future. Okay? Now, let me talk about the 3420, the gate 59, and the gate 55. That's the cross of the sleeping phoenix. That's what we're moving into. Okay? Now, you all are going to be able to be an example of what is to come. And as a matter of fact, that is a theme we are diving into today. So today I'm going to talk about the primary theme we're moving into and how it's going to affect all of you. And then next week, I'm going to tell you about the lock. Today, I'm just going to share with you the main theme. And then each week, I'm going to break it down per gate. So you guys are going to learn not just what's happening in the astrological, but when I break it down per gate, you're going to learn about those gates as well. And even if you don't have those gates, you're going to learn how to see it in other people. And you're going to learn, I guarantee there's going to be at least one gate that you guys will have. I guarantee it because of the lock gates. And also there's 2 more astrological wheels that we're moving into as well as these 2. So we're going to have a lot. So I like to always start with a good Ra quote. Now, do you guys know who Ra Uru-Hu is? Ra Uru-Hu is the founder of human design. And he is a #1 mutant. Quotes. The glue of the cross of planning as held together with our lives for the last 400 years is dismantling, but there will soon be no inherent need, drive, or purpose fulfilled through coming together to protect that way of life. That means what you're seeing now, all the people scrambling to protect the systems that are falling apart, the governments, the banks, the hospitals, the schools. I'm going to say religions, but don't come for me if you're religious, because there's a lot of religious structures that are great, but there's a lot that are going to fall apart as well. And so all of these structures that are very tribal are going to start falling apart. Now we're in 2023. That means until 2027, we're seeing the breakdown. What Ra is saying is that the need and the drive to protect this way of life starting 2027 is going to go away. That's right, Hani, the organized systems. Exactly. This means we will basically end up with the breakdown in the way in which society is going to function. I'm going to add a quote by Raquel Reyna. The most important aspect of this time is we are all awakening to the highest expression of self. So if you've heard anything about Ra Urahu's prophecy around 2027, there's a lot of fear about things, the way things are going to break down. I don't see it that way. Okay, so one of the things I didn't share in my story was after I stopped studying with Don Miguel Ruiz, I started studying with an enlightened master teacher, and she brought forward a huge vision. I've seen one enlightened master teacher, and I've seen a lot of spiritual teachers. She did not exist in the way of the world. She would breathe in love like you would never feel before. People lined up to see her from all over the world. She did not charge for her work, but she lived in mansions. She exuded abundance. It was like nothing I've ever seen before or after. So I am using these visions that I have received through some of the most important enlightened teachers that are saying that we are moving into a time of enlightenment. You see that in the DNA code. You see that in the shifting of the wheel as well, but it's how you interpret it. So if you guys know the gene keys, you know that Richard Rudd does the shadow, he does the gift and the city, the highest expression of each gate, which means that you can look at the lower expression or you can look at the highest expression. And I'm going to follow along with Richard Rudd, and I myself am going to look at the highest expression. That is what I teach. So no one needs to go into panic or fear. Okay? But what I will say is if you don't know about the shift, you might go a little nuts. And I mean this lovingly. Did you guys see people go nuts during 2020? Because I certainly did. Did you see people go into fear, go into chaos, go into what's happening and their behavior? So they made choices based in fear. Did anyone notice that? So today I'm going to introduce to you a couple of concepts. So the 2020 was the start of the 7-year shifting to the breakdown. So the breakdown started. So how did Ra figure out these global cycles? This is also really important for you guys to understand Sidiel. The Eastern astrology, a lot of people debate this in human design. Well, this is going to help you understand why you cannot do Sidiel human design, because the systems shift. And some people are doing that, and if you really break it down, it doesn't line up. But if you're studying Eastern astrology, you're studying it all the way through. I'm going to go into the spiritual, and I'm going to go into the implications. So the Eastern astrology aligns with the stars, okay? Our astrology aligns with the cycles, the equinox. So how he arrived at the global cycle, the precession of the global equinox. So in Western astrology, the signs are 12 equal distances aligned to the equinox, the sun at the solstice, so it's the same gate activated as it's activated now, right? So the autumn equinox is the same as the autumn equinox 2,000 years ago. So Eastern astrology uses the constellation of the stars. The backdrop of the constellation moved and rotated, and we drifted apart 23 degrees. So you are not getting an accurate human design chart if you're doing sidereal human design, FYI. So the two wheels, the one based on the seasons, has changed and fixed, okay? So the fixed is where we get the locks. That's where we get the lock gates. The wheel that is based on the constellation slowly drifted over time. And what Ra did, the founder of human design, is he went through the history and he synced them up and saw where they drifted apart. And then he was able to show where the locks are, the constellations, and where the global cycles happen. So the cross of the Sphinx, the cross of the vessel of love are the locks. Okay, so those are the gates that you see consistently. So the locks have themes, and the themes, so when you have a theme, it's going to show us the gate we're moving out of, the theme that it's in, and then the theme that we're moving into. If this isn't making sense to you, don't worry about it, because I'm going to break it all down and I'm going to tell you what you need to know about it and the things to contemplate. Okay, this is just because I'm foundational. I need a foundation to learn. When I learn human design, I'm a line 1. I need a foundation. So I hope you guys are appreciating the foundation, because I wanted to lay this out for you so you understand what era we're in, what's happening. When you listen to the interviews, you'll understand the context of the idea of breaking out of the matrix, why the cookie cutter isn't working. And that's what the theme of all of the interviews is, okay? So the cross of this Phoenix is the cross, the 46, 25, 10, and the 15. So who has any of those gates? 46, 25, 10, 15. You can see I've been having trouble losing my voice. So if you guys are in the public role class, that's why. I keep losing my voice because there's so much happening right now in my life. So I am, as a projector, I have to run my business as a projector. So for those of you who are doing my public role class, we postpone that for 3 weeks. So actually it does give you guys time. If anybody here is interested in jumping into that, you will have time to listen in and catch up. You can PM me if you guys are awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to give you guys a scary chart. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but if you guys want a screenshot, here's all the cycles, okay? Here's how they go. Here's all the locks. Here's all the cycles. So if you guys want to screenshot it, have at it. For those of you who are like, I hate scary charts like this, do not worry. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, okay? So we're moving in 411-year cycles. We are moving from the age of planning to the cross of the sleeping phoenix. We're moving to what's also known as the era of the individual, okay? So the individual is, how are you awakening to your individual nature? How will you be serving the individual in your tribe? Okay, the question is, as we all have individual, tribal, collective in our charts, if you look at your gates, you'll see how many you have, and we'll help you as you go through in the Facebook group. We'll help you guys understand this, okay? When the tribe is in control, the individual is ousted and the tribe rules. When the individuals are in charge, all people are respected. Yeah. Don't you guys love that? Okay, so the highest and the lowest expressions. And so this is an essential core element of the change of 2027, because I want you guys to understand this as the main contemplation when I leave you today. Now, the lowest expression is survival in the now. So sometimes when we talk about 2027 and people are talking about the fear, they're talking a lot about survival, and that we're going to go into a place of survival. I don't believe that at all, because this is also called self-expression in the now. The highest expression of the 3420 over time, we've come to realize, yes, maybe we may have been in survival, but we are not in survival today. Okay, and that is not what we are looking at now. We are looking at the highest expression, okay? The highest expression is leadership that comes in response, as opposed to leadership that comes from force, right? So the highest expression is done in response to what is healthy for the individual first, and then the tribe. If you have one of the hanging gates, absolutely these themes will relate to you. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. The highest expression of the 3420 is pure individual expression in the now. The charismatic leader, a leader that serves the self first, meaning by this, what I mean is that you take care of yourself through self-care. You take care of yourself so that you can lead the good of the tribe, right? You're serving the other. You're serving the other through your overflow. This is the highest expression. It is the awakening of self. the self-healing, the self-expression, the self-knowledge. The lowest expression is survival of the fittest, self-serving, self over others, selfishness in leadership, meaning I want more money, putting individual gain over the good of the tribe. We see it in our government. We see it in our corporations. We see it in some of the biggest fast food chains. You know, McDonald's is a great example where the CEOs make all the money and the grunt workers, you know, are treated poorly. That is, it's so ingrained that we don't even think there's a problem with that. It's like, well, obviously they shouldn't get paid very much. You know, the CEOs should make all of the money. And so that is the shadow. The lowest expression, we have also learned that if the energy is not in response, it is in force. Because this is connected to the sacral, it needs to be in response. If one is forcing leadership, forcing control, forcing the rules, then this is against the sacral energy of response. We will be ruled by frustration in the shadow, and everyone suffers when the rulers rule by force. You have to do this. You have to follow my way. You have to take this. You have to do this. You've got to do that. You've got to. Anybody who tells you what to do, I'm sorry. That is not going to work. You decide through your inner authority what's correct for you. You decide what is correct for you, what is correct for your body, what is correct for your healing, what is correct for you. These are the existential questions we will be facing. What is the best for the self and for the tribe? Do you serve the other for the good of the self? Or is it pure serving of the self? Serving of the self, or serve the other for the good of the other. The charismatic leader has to be brought in through the tribe. You have to be recognized as an individual before you can lead. You can't force it. Or will you naturally serve the awakening of the self and serve the other through service? To serve the other for the good of the other, right? Serve the other for the good of the other. So these, my friends, are the deep contemplations that we have as we are moving into the new era. These are the questions we all face as we begin the shift. The 3420 is the channel of charisma. This is the energy of the highest as we commit to higher integrity and principles. The gate 34 is the gate of power, and the gate 20 is the gate of the now. This is the energy we are moving into. So the question is, what type of leadership will you allow in your life? Will you let someone force you, or will you only allow leaders who say and honor your inner authority? Because that is the era we are moving into, where you honor your inner authority. How powerful is that? So this is where I'm going to leave you guys today, although I do want to show you really quickly where we are going to next week. So we're going to start with the gate 37 in the line 1, the lock of the 25, and then we're going to move into the gate 55, which is moving into the line 6, okay? So the gate 55 in the line 6. So we're moving into the gate 55. The gate 55 is the line, is the gate of spirit. So to say we're not moving into a spiritual awakening is a real misperception, I believe, of what is happening. So I'm going to leave there for today. I want to tell you your homework. So your homework, which is home play, really, I would like for you guys, we're going to put a post in the next hour, but you can just post in the Facebook group your picture as well. And the question is, have you ever felt like an outsider? Have you ever felt like a mutant? Have you ever felt like you didn't fit in? Have you ever felt like the black sheep, even in your own family? We want to hear your story. Okay, we want to hear your story. And really the only place right now where we can hear it in full depth is in the Facebook group for now. So if you're not on Facebook, I really truly do apologize. We may be opening up another thing on Telegram, but for now you need to post in the Facebook group. Yeah, don't worry. Okay. So that is your homework for today. I want to hear your story. That is what we're asking all of our experts. Have you ever felt like an outsider? Okay, these are women who, most of them have 6, 7-figure businesses, very unique to them. And we want to share with you how they created a life outside the matrix. But we also want to hear your stories. And then we're going to really be able to create a space of depth, because you guys are all amazing. I'm feeling each and every one of your energies right now. I'm feeling you guys. And everybody who's here live on Facebook as well, I'm feeling you guys. And everybody who's in this community, I'm loving you guys. So we want to build that network. We want to hear the stories. By sharing the stories, we begin the healing process. We begin breaking down and preparing the new era. Okay, so have you ever felt like an outsider? Share your story in the Facebook group. Now, I'm going to wrap this up for today, and I want to leave you guys with this notion that I see your genius, I see your uniqueness, and I'm so excited to share this with you. If you guys would like to hear just a little bit more about the book, I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about it. Some of you guys, look, if you're like me, you love to shop, right? You love to buy stuff, but you don't like to be sold to. And so I'm not going to sell, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book, because the book is what we are launching. It's called Are You a Mutant? Okay, it's the step-by-step human design guide to unleash your genius and to assist you during this time of crisis. And the book is going to help you with your own chart. The book is written in a way from my personal view. It's my frigging story, and it details how I found human design, how it served me, what I would have done differently had I known about human design. It helps you understand your own chart. And for those of you who know human design, I go in depth in advanced concepts like view, personality, motivation. I go into BG5 aspects. I go into the 2027, but not in the way that we're talking about here. And if you haven't pre-ordered the book yet, if you do pre-order it, please let us know anywhere in the Facebook group or you can tag me on Instagram, you can tag me on Facebook. If you've already purchased it, we're doing 5 tickets into the drawing. If you guys, okay, so first of all, I wanted to have an investment level that, right now I invest thousands and thousands of dollars in my coaches because I'm in a new stage, but I wasn't always here. When I decided to leave my corporate career and I invested in a brick and mortar business, it all felt a shizzle. I needed to not invest for a little while because it was such an extreme breakdown for me. And the only thing I could invest in was books, and books changed my life. And I am an avid reader. I read so many books. I love Audible. By the way, it is going to come out on Audible, but not yet. So, and I do recommend getting the hard copy so you can write on it and you can circle and you can make notes. So this is a very low end investment. It's only $23. It's worth it's so dense. You get so much information. It's so rich. Now, some of you want to go a little bit deeper with us right out the gate. And the only reason I'm sharing this right now is because I cannot even tell you how many questions I got on the book bundle. It's 50% off the book bundle if you pre-order the book. Okay, so the book is $23. The book bundle is $444. Okay, and it's worth every penny. It's huge, huge, huge. I want to tell you what it is. The gamma frequencies that we went into today, the energy times 100. and it's awakening the Kundalini energy through each of the 9 centers based on whether you're defined or undefined. Okay, so you're going to get the undefined or defined for each one of the centers, and you can listen to the undefined or the defined, and I break it down for you exactly which one you are by showing you in the videos, and you listen to each center each week. And then so let's say you have an undefined emotional center, but you live with an emotional being like me. I'm always absorbing and amplifying the emotions in the house until I learned how to do these gamma frequency ignitions. This is not traditional deconditioning. This is an entirely new level of awakening through the centers. It's more like the spiritual Kundalini awakening through the 9-centered being. It's a whole new dimension. So if I'm undefined, then I take the defined meditation, I give it to the person in my house that's defined, because there's a healthy expression of the defined and the undefined. You need to know them both, because otherwise the person in your house is still conditioning you over and 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 over again. Okay, so if you buy the book bundle, you also get How to Prepare for 2027. And so I give you practical things that you need to do. I break this down for you in the beginning stages, and so you get a deeper insight. So if you guys are loving this material but you want more before next week, the book bundle is available for you. It's $444, and if you pre-order the book, it's only $222, and it's friggin' dense. There's so much material. Now I'm also doing a bonuses galore. So I want to ask you guys, if you listen to channeled material, if you're here live and you're listening on Facebook right here, how to buy the book. Let me get you the book link. So, okay, so when you get the link to the book bundle, you can just pre-order. There'll be a link to just pre-order the book as well. So you can just pre-order the book. It's $23. If you want to get the book bundle afterwards, it's 50% off. Okay, so Davidian is going to put the link in the chat for those of you guys who want that. Now, I got to tell you this, you guys. I need to take a sip of tea to tell you this new information. You guys heard me say that I have been working with 17 guides. This is also shown, as I said, in the encounter in Rave Cosmology. Ra breaks down his entire awakening with the voice. So if you guys don't know, Ra Urihu had an 8-day encounter with what he called the voice. So how long is the deal in place? So we are going to, okay, a couple of things. The shirts are only available while supplies last. These are limited. Can you also put, Davidian, can you put a link to the mutant shirts? We are going to give away 1 shirt per week starting next week. But if you guys want to buy the collection, oh my God, I love these shirts so friggin' much. You have to have a little tribal in you to wear a shirt though. To be part of the mutant club, you need a little tribal. The deal as far as the bundle is going to be in place while we do this launch. And then the price is going back up to $444. So it's the during this launch. Okay. You do have time. And then after the launch, if you do the bundle, you can invest that 222 in one of our programs. So you can apply the 222 to one of our upper division programs as well. So if you are like, oh, but I really want to do one of your classes, that is part of the investment. You can use it. It's like storing in a coupon code for 222 as well. Okay. So if you're like, oh, but I'd rather do a class, you can use it for that. Now, the bonuses for the bundle. Okay, I cannot wait to tell you guys this. The bonuses for the bundle. This is so crazy. I've never done this before. My guides want to come through and share some messages. My guides are 14, I'm sorry, my guides are the 17 blue beings. The name is Amore, and it is a very beautiful frequency of love. It is what I am designed for. My design is innocence. This is what I'm here to bring forward. So anybody who buys the bundle, and if you buy it now, I'm going to drop these every week. So, and I'm not going to give the replays because it's in the moment. It's for that week. Okay, it's for that week. So in other words, if you decide you want to buy the bundle now, then you're going to get the download for this week. The messages are so beautiful and so profound, and so there's a lot around money because I'm stepping into new levels, and it has to be spiritual for me. It has to be a win-win for you guys. So when I run my business, it really has to be, yes, I'm giving free intel. Those of you who I need the free stuff and this is where you're at, I want to give you the highest quality material. Those of you who can make the investment, that's, what it is. It's good for you and good for me, right? I am moving into leadership that's good for the other, but it can't be just good for the other. You have to be also aligned for the business has to be served. And so it has to be in a win for you, a win for me, and then we all rise up together. I'm just sharing with you guys what we have to offer. Now, I do, and I'm going to wrap up here. I do have one more thing I want to tell you guys, is I mentioned we have a public role class, and I postponed it for 3 weeks because you guys can hear my voice, right? It keeps going out on me. So I had to postpone it for 3 weeks. So if you guys are interested, you can join that public role class. And all you need to do is PM me or email me, support@raquelreyna.com. And you could listen to the 3 that we've already done. So that's your profile. So you're new to all of this and not understand. So Phyllis, the profile is really a great place to start because it's the line numbers and I break it down. It's really, really simple. So if you're curious about your profile, that would be a great place to start because it's what people call, because they'll say, oh, I'm a 5/1, I'm a heretic, I'm an investigator. It's really easy to understand and it's life-changing right out the gate. Also, Phyllis, the book. So you find out, okay, so if you want to jump in, so we have a profile class. I have recorded 3, the line 1, line 2, line 3, and we have 3 more to come. And so you guys can jump in. You'd have 3 recordings and then 3 lives. So you just need to email me at support. Let me type it in there, support@raquelreyna.com, or PM my team. You can PM us on Facebook. Then you can still jump in. But I will tell you, I think one of the best places to start is going to be the book. Now, you guys, this is pre-order the book and then wait. I've made a joke about this before. It's pre-order and wait because this is the book launch, which means we're only in pre-order. You're not going to get your book arrive until the end of August. So literally we have all the experts to listen to, but I am doing bonuses when you pre-order. Okay, so that is something I do want you guys to know. So I'm going to be doing channeled material, which we're working a lot around money, a lot around healing, a lot around awakening to new dimensions of self, awakening to this new individual. It's a really profound energy. I cannot wait to share with you guys who want the channeled material. So this is where I'm going to leave it for you guys today. And you can always PM me with questions. Don't forget to do your homework. And then next week, we're going to go gate by gate. I promise you guys, it's going to be so deep and so fun and so profound. The knowledge is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. And even if you know nothing about human design, it's like an astrological reading. You'll be able to absorb it. Okay. Next week, you guys know what we're doing. We're going to be here, 333. Tomorrow, we have Lauren's interview. Would I be able to apply the 222 to the projector course, only to the live courses. Only to the live courses. So the projector course is not running live. That's a that one is already pre-recorded, and so we have all those materials already available for you. So it's not one of our live classes. It's amazing though. It's worth every single friggin' penny that you could pay for it. It's friggin' amazing. It's absolutely amazing. If you're a projector, yeah, it's worth every penny. It's worth every single penny, I promise you. Okay, so the homework is now posted in the Facebook group, so you guys can start going over there and doing your homework. I can't wait to read all of your stories. I can't wait to connect with you guys, because here's the truth. I'm sure everybody has felt like an outsider. We're all outsiders. We're all outsiders. We're here in the process of human awakening. We're here to awaken, and we're not even part of this material plane. We are spiritual. We are enlightened beings. This physical suit is temporary. So we actually are all outsiders. And I want to hear your story. There's so much wounding around this. I want to hug you and love you. I have been an outsider so many times. I'm a heretic. I've been kicked out of so many places. So I cannot wait to hear your stories. So thank you guys so much for being here live. All right, you guys. So listen, I'll see you tomorrow on the video page, and I'll see you next week at the Zoom link, okay? So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this event, and I will see you in the multiverse.